All right. Okay. All right. Apa lagi ni? Okay. So topic 5, the international monetary funds and financial crisis. Actually, I at the hospital, but somehow the nurse here, they are so kind. They give me a permission to use their room here. So it's good for me. So then I have an opportunity to give a lecture. Okay. Okay, even though this is a fasting month, but somehow most of patient here, they are not fasting, since they have to take the medicine. Me too. So but somehow we have to replace the 30 days fasting. Okay. Right. So when we talk about IMF, so what you understand about IMF? Why IMF exists? Is it IMF is kind of similar like the Bank Negara? Is it the task or the responsibility of the IMF similar to the Bank Negara or central bank? Since we know both of them, central bank and IMF, they are lender of last resort. But somehow you have to understand central bank, they have limited ability. They have low ability, especially in terms of financials. Depends on the country itself. Some of the country, they have very limited ability, especially their central bank, especially the financial. But what about the IMF? Do the IMF also consider low ability? Okay, so this is two differences between central bank and also IMF. Okay, central bank, it based on the country itself. IMF is a worldwide, it's an international, and controlled by by the country who having the power and financial power. So how the IMF and why the IMF exists? IMF exists because of we need one organizations who can be we can say who can be uh, priority organizations who can help members build up back the country if in case members of IMF they're facing problem in terms of what? In terms of financial. Why the member country facing a difficulty in financial? Maybe because of war. Maybe because of the crisis. Maybe because of management issue, perhaps. So usually the members of IMF country will ask help from the IMF, especially in terms of financial, to rebuild back the country. So what they need financial. Not necessarily IMF only give the in terms of financial. IMF also help in terms of advising, consultancy, management, and so on. Examples of IMF already give a hand to help to the members country, okay, especially during the crisis, 1997 crisis. Okay, 1997 crisis, most of the ASEAN country, we are facing a financial difficulty because of what? Because of financial. Okay, so most of the ASEAN country, they go for the help. They ask for the help from the IMF, and IMF give a hand to help, especially in terms of financial. What about Malaysia? Is it Malaysia also getting a loan from IMF? No. We on 1997, our government, we are at that time our prime minister are brilliant enough. So then that time we are not borrow or getting help, especially in terms of financials from IMF. If we are getting help from the IMF during 1997, what will gonna be happen to our country today? Do we will successful enough, especially in terms of currency, compared to our neighbor country? No. Okay, since there is a pro and cons, if let's say we getting a help, especially in terms of financials from IMF, we have to follow rules and regulations, and also we have to listen what IMF asks us to do. Okay, because why? Because IMF has the veto power. We can see what happened to the Indonesia country. We can see what happened to the to Vietnam. We can see what happened to the Thailand last time, especially in terms of their currency. By that time, the crisis 1997, Malaysia, we are not we refuse to borrow money from IMF, but somehow we use other alternative to recover back the crisis, which is that time our prime minister, we use agriculture to overcome that time. And we improve day by day, time by time. It's good for us. 1997, I darjah 3. Darjah 3. If I'm not mistaken. Huh? You are not born yet. Most of you are not born yet. 1997. Okay. That time I darjah 2 or darjah 3. 97. Okay. Right. But somehow, even though I still young that time, but because of I'm very interested into the crisis, what happened, why it's happened, and so on. So I read. I try to see what is actually base. So then the crisis happened. What is the phenomena actually? So actually, what I learned, I listens from. This is from my late professor. What my late professor talk about IMF. He said actually the IMF. The starting happened in Thailand. Okay, when the George Soros, the name is George Soros, a speculator. George Soros is from Israel. George Soros, they inject money into Thailand market, hot money they call it. So previously, before the crisis happened, ASEAN country economy was boom up, was very good. Malaysia, Thailand, Indonesia, we are in a good condition with a good economy situations and so on. But somehow, because of the inject money by the George Soros, now you can Google the name George Soros, George Soros, Soros. Yeah. So you can see what is actually happened. Why he is he one of the speculator. He inject money, and what happened to the economy that time. So this is how. This is how the crisis starting to happen during 1997. Okay. So IMF members, they pledge. What is the IMF? Who are the members of the IMF? Okay, overview of IMF. What is IMF? Why IMF exists? Who are the members of IMF? Okay, IMF members is a country. Malaysia, do we are one of the IMF members? Yes, we are. Usually, we try to our government, they trying to get help from IMF in terms of advising, consultancy, and so on. Not in terms of financial yet. Okay. So usually IMF members, they pledge to fully cooperate to make sure to fully cooperate to make sure we follow what is instructions, and especially if, let's say, the instructions is good for the economy and so on, we will follow actually. To overcome the monetary problem, for examples. What is good we follow, what are not we not follow. Okay, if, let's say, the reason, okay, or the instructions given is not good for the economy and so on, our economy and so on, we will not gonna follow. So government have to fully cooperate and have to really know how to decide which one is good, which one is not good for the economy. Okay, so this is how. So who are controlling the IMF? Okay, the country who control the IMF is a country who have the veto power, and we know who, which is US country. So they will do a decision making power within the organizations on all matters around. Okay, and on all matters around. Okay, I give you the, I take note here so then you can follow. Okay, IMF members, the first one just now. So at least you have the extra info. Pledge to fully monetary problem. Okay, second just now. So the country who have the veto power, they will do the decisions making within the organizations. Who has the veto power will attend responsible responsible in the decision making within the organizations. Okay. Okay, so how and when the IMF exists? IMF exists when? Okay, IMF exists after the Second World War. After the Second World War. What happened when the World War begin? And what happened? What happened after the World War? What happened to the country who impact from the Second World War? Okay, what happened to the country? The building, the job, unemployment, social issue, financial problem. It's happened actually after the World War. So the country that time, they need to rebuild back again the country. especially they need money to restore and to rebuild back the building, the the nations, and so on. They need uh, fund for the health problems and so on, yeah, and so on. So they need a capital. They need a fund. So that's why IMF exists. Okay, so IMF is changed. This is a charge. Oversee the international monetary system to ensure the exchange rate stable. And IMF also one of the institutions who responsible to encourage member to eliminate exchange restrictions that hinder trade. From what? From unexpected issue, event, unexpected uh, um, problems that might be happen in international trade, for example. So this is a IMF responsibility. Okay, so after the World War, the job of rebuilding national, we call it national economy, and IMF are responsible on it. Okay, so the IMF is charged with oversee the international monetary system so they exist because of what? They're responsible to make sure the exchange rate stable in international market. So this is how. This is why IMF exists. Okay, this is why IMF exists. You can read, you copy restrictions. Okay, okay. IMF, what I want you to do, okay, okay. IMF, I want you to make short notes, okay? IMF in the middle, try to do a short note so then you can, can be your short notes for final exam, straight away. So in the middle here, IMF, so do they good for member? Okay. Do they good for member? Okay, number one, number two, number three. Do they good for member? What do you think? Do they good for the member? Do the existence of IMF good for member? For me, yes. Since they provide financial. But somehow, if let's say the financial is not suitable and you are and the country is actually not really need the fund from IMF, no need. Since what there is a for pro and cons if let's say you borrow money from IMF. Yeah? IMF provide financial support to countries hit by crisis to create breathing room. Since what? Since they need capital to rebuild back. So at least they have one party who can give them still hope to survive. Breathing, implement policy to restore, we can say restore stability, to rebuild back the country. Restore stability. Okay, number 2, IMF also provide a broader support to low income, countries. I want you to do a short note on this. This is important for exam. Through policy advice. Okay, capacity building activities and so on. Yeah, and financial support. Support. Okay, so at least you have something that you already make a notes for exam. Monitor. That's why my student, what I advise is during the lecture you do your short notes. Okay, during a lecture you do your short notes. Don't just listen. Okay, when you do your short notes, what I say important, you highlight. You know, oh, this is important for me to read for exam and so on. Yeah, so that's why during my lecture I ask you to make a short notes straight away. Yeah? So you have plenty of time to read and prepare for final exam. Okay, number 3, the monitor the international, even though we are not meeting face to face, but somehow you are so close. I can feel you're close to me. Since I still can give you, I'm so lucky. I'm still can give you a lecture, even though my condition is not well. I hope that I can give you a good. I can give you a very good advice, especially for the final exam. Okay, global economy development. I want everyone pass this paper since most of you're final year students. So I really want you to graduate on time this semester. So make sure you pass this subject. Identify. Actually got a few students. They come and see me. They say really hope for me to help, since this is a final year, final year papers and so on. Okay, identify issue issues and recommended. Oh, got one student WhatsApp me. I read regarding assignment, how to rename. I forgot to reply. Later I reply. Policy T3 policy. The students from T3. Sorry dear. I lupa nak reply tadi. For grow and financial stability. Okay, so do they good? IMF good. IMF. Do they good for the members? Yes, for me, yes. Yeah. Since what? Since first, they provide the financial support. They give a breathing room for the country who impact from the war, for example. the crisis, for example, when the country facing the crisis and so on, war and so on, for example, they need capital to rebuild back their country. Especially they need fund, advice, support system, management, and so on. As the IMF, as a lender of last resort, IMF is a lender of last resort. They will give a hand to help to the members to restore back the stability, to rebuild back the stability in the country. Okay. Second, do the IMF goods for the members? Yes. Since what? Since they provide a broader support to low-income country. Not necessarily they give the help in terms of financial, but they give a hand, they give a help in terms of policy advice, management, how to rebuild back your country, for example, how you can build back your country, for example, how you can manage back your country, your political, and so on. Okay, so this is a responsibility by the IMF to build back again the country and give a financial support. Number 3, do the IMF goods for the members? Yes. Since usually IMF, they have one inside the IMF, they have a professional bodies who will monitor, investigate the market. Okay? They will see what is the history, what is the problem. They thoroughly investigate how has the market behaved, for example. So when they detect some unexpected issue or event occur in international market, for example, they will give a hand to try solve the problem. So they will identify the issue and recommend policy for growth and financial stability. So then they can, the members of the IMF can avoid the problem and issue from happen or face, for example. Okay, so this is the IMF. Do the IMF look for the members? Yes. Okay, some said, okay, some said, IMF loan, especially loan to the members, financials. Arrangement contribute to increase poverty. Is this true? You try to answer. Okay. Some said, try to answer. IMF loan arrangement contribute. For me, yes. Since there is a pro and cons. Contribute to increase poverty. You can see what happened to Indonesia. We can see what happened to the Thailand actually. Is this true? Is this true? Okay. Participant in IMF program. Who are the participants? Members country. Yeah, members country. Participant in IMF program. Okay, why I said this is true? Because what we can see, the participant who participate in IMF program, especially in term when the IMF give them money, we can see the IMF program was in terms of their income distributions. We can see the example is Indonesia country. worst income distributions. What else we can see? Especially the Indonesia lah, especially, but we no need to say the country name. We just say especially for the poor country, poor and um, poor and poor and low labor class. Can lah, labor class. But don't say the country name. Yeah. Labor class, and then which can increase rates of poverty. Okay. So you go back and you try to answer this. Is it true? This is my answer. You try to answer. This is my answer. You also try to read and answer this. Okay. How? Overview. This one no need. This one is not important. Okay. This is a purpose. We already discussed just now. Purpose of the IMF is actually to promote a stable international monetary system in which the country can achieve higher rates of employment, low inflations, and sustain economic growth. How? So we already answered here just now. Okay, to take it for the members, yes. So IMF charge with oversee the international monetary system and so on. Okay, so this is the purpose of IMF. Important, yes. Functions of IMF is important, yes. First, they oversee international monetary system by regularly review nationals, regionals, global economy and financial development. This is what I told you just now. They do thoroughly investigate how has the market behaved, how has the international market behaved. Is there any abnormality happen in international market? If yes, they will take necessary actions and will advise the members country what to do, what cannot do, and so on. Yeah, and they also responsible to provide economy monitoring and policy advice to its members country, especially by giving talk, conference, and so on. IMF also responsible encourage to adopt policy that foster economic stability. What best of the members can be and do so that they can have a stable economy, for example. And IMF also responsible to reduce the vulnerability to economic and financial crisis. What can do, what cannot do, how to rebuild back the country, especially in terms of management, political, and so on. IMF also responsible to raise up living standard of the members and analyze the impact of country policy on others, especially crisis, for example. There is a research saying that the crisis will happen every 10 years. So usually when it comes to crisis and it's happened, IMF, some of the crises, they use a recipe or solutions that they feel the solutions is suitable, referring to the previous crisis, for example. But somehow, some of the crises, when the IMF giving solutions, the solutions is not suitable. to reuse back at the current situations. So when it comes to crisis, the wrong solutions given, so what happened is the crisis become worse and worse and worse. And this is already happened during the 1997, which is during the 1997, IMF give a wrong remedies or solution to the crisis, which is they refer to the solutions that they use for the previous crisis, last 20 years, last 30 years crisis. And the solutions, remedies, is not suitable during the crisis 1997. And because of that, the crisis became worse and worse and worse and worse. We failed to give her correct solutions during the crisis 1997. That's why the crisis become worse and worse and worse. Okay, this is important information for you. So you listen back and take a note on that. Okay, so IMF apply lesson from cross-country experience, but somehow I told you just now, some of the solutions is not suitable to reuse back again in the current situations. Okay? And IMF also provide a forums for international cooperations on global economy and financial issues. So this is how. Okay. So how IMF making, okay, the functions of IMF first. Okay. What is the functions of IMF? IMF is like a doctor, like a teacher, like a banker. Since what? Since they are civilians. They gather the data, assess economic policy of country, they gather the information from international market, they do thoroughly investigate the market, how has the market behaved, international market behave, and so on. So they are investigating. They are like a doctor. And they are also like a teacher. Why? Because they're strengthening the human skills and institutional capacity of the countries. And they also like a banker because they're lending to countries to support reform in terms of financial. They give a support. So they are like a banker. Okay. So where the IMF getting money? They're getting money from quota payments and loans given to the members. Most come from the quota subscriptions as a members have to, when join, the members have to contribute some money. And one more thing, IMF getting money is from the loan given to the members. Loan given is not free, they charge interest. So this is how the IMF getting money and profit. Okay. General arrangements to borrow 1962, they set up a line of credit with several governments and banks throughout the world. Okay. So the quota are reviewed after 5 years by the IMF. Quota also determine how much each member can borrow from IMF when in need of aid. Okay. In your opinion, okay, I got one question. In your opinion, who control the world economy? You try to answer. In your opinion, who control the world economy? Okay, I suddenly I remember I got one question. One student told me that this subject, when we read, it's easy. I know, I understand. But when it comes to current issues, when it comes to general knowledge, the students say it is difficult. No, actually it's not difficult. But you have to know Okay, in this subject, you have to know what happened in the history. In terms of what? History. In terms of economy, in terms of financials, especially the IMF, why IMF is and so on. That's why I told you to do a short note like this. If you fail to understand the concept of history, especially the IMF history, the world economy, like this, international market issues. So this is the reason why you feel that the subject is difficult. Now, actually, when you know, you understand, you read. When I ask you to read, you go back and read. It's not difficult for you to get the answer. Okay? So my question is, who control the world economy? You go back and you try to search. Okay? In your opinion, who control the world economy? My answer, usually big banks and large corporations. They are control and the global economy, which is they dominate the world economy, and the large financial institutions, they also dominate the world global economy. So who control the economy? Big banks, big corporations, large financial institutions, they are controlling the world economy. So they relate to what? They relate to the financial, is it? They relate to the bank, they relate to the corporations, financials, and so on. They are the one who control the economy. Okay, so you try to go back and you try to answer this. Okay? Okay. Quota, we finished the quota. Okay. Okay, just now we discussed, we said, okay, as members of Central Bank, as members of IMF, we have the opportunity to borrow from IMF. But somehow, when is a country members of IMF, they need money? When? Okay, a country that has not taken in enough foreign currency. Okay, this is the answer. When they have not taken in enough foreign currency to pay the other countries for what they have bought, they need money to pay for the debt. They will ask IMF for the funding. But when they ask for the funding from IMF, they are actually one step to, we can say, uh, worst case, to the country. Since what? Since they have to follow instructions given by IMF. Okay? So when the country spend more money than it takes in, they need to pay for the debt. When they have not enough capital to pay back the debt, they need funding. So when they need funding, they will ask IMF to pay for them. When they ask IMF pay for them, this is borrowing. They borrow from IMF, they have to pay back, but there is a pro and cons they have to fulfill. Okay, IMF will lend foreign exchange to the member with hoping to stabilize its currency and pay back the loan just now, the debt just now, which will strengthen its trade. But I told you just now, there is a pro and cons when you borrow money from IMF. Okay, crisis managed by the IMF. How? What crisis? There are three types of crisis. We have a currency crisis, we have a banking crisis, and we have foreign debt crisis. Currency crisis, Example, 1997, banking crisis. Example, Japanese crisis. Take note on this. Yeah? Foreign debt crisis and so on. Okay. So currency crisis is like a 1997 speculative attack by the George Soros on a Thai market, on a currency exchange, which is they inject money into Thai market. They call it hot money. Yeah? Value result in the sharp depreciations of the currency value or force authority to defend the currency. So when you see the crisis 1997, what you can say? You try to think on that. Okay, 1997, we take an example, Malaysia country. What happened to the Malaysia country in 1997? The currency crisis. Our ringgit Malaysia dropped and drop until 5 something. There is no solutions. Everyone panic. Most of the business bankrupt since they cannot pay back the debt, the loan. Exchange rate is very bad. It's very expensive to change to the US dollar. $1 we have to pay, cost us 5 ringgit something. It's very expensive, especially if let's say we want to do the export, the import. And because of that, foreigner, even though they can buy our product with the cheaper price, but somehow they refuse to pay. They refuse to buy. Why? Because they worried. Most of the firm in Malaysia at that time bankrupt. So if let's say they order product, if foreigner order product, they pay, and the firm in Malaysia, from Malaysia, fail to fulfill the demand, for example. So that's why even though that time the currency exchange are very cheap for the foreigner to buy, somehow they are not ordering product from Malaysia market. Since they worried, most of the firms bankrupt and unable to produce the product like what they demand. This is what happened. Okay. The currency keep falling, keep dropping during the 1997. This is a currency crisis. This is what we call a currency crisis. Banking crisis. We lose of confidence in the banking system, leading to a run on the bank. Banking crisis. Chapter 10. Japanese banking crisis. Important for final. Banking crisis. Japanese banking crisis. Okay. ASEAN banking crisis is important, yes, also. Okay. Japanese banking crisis, ASEAN banking crisis is important. Yeah. Foreign debt crisis, when the country cannot service to foreign debt obligations. This is what we call foreign debt crisis. Okay. IMF as an international lender of last resort, which means whatever happen, problem occur, members of IMF, they can ask for the help from the IMF. So IMF as a lender of last resort will give a hand to help. It doesn't matter what help that the members country needed, compulsory for them to give a hand to help. Especially in terms of financial, advising, consultancy, a forum, or whatsoever. Okay, so example, what happened to the Mexican financial crisis 1997, for example, which is that time a moral hazard problem issue in the international market, especially financial problems, are very high. Okay, so that time IMF give a hand to help, but somehow it depends. IMF, if let's say they not rescue, the country will suffer extreme hardship and possible political instability. So IMF want or not, they still have to give a hand to help. If let's say the country need the advice and help and asking for the help. So IMF will give a hand to help. Okay. Okay. The global financial crisis and the IMF. So when we talk about global financial crisis, this is what the crisis happened during the 2008. This is what we call a subprime crisis. This is a, take a note, this is a subprime crisis. Okay, happened in the US, which is the government, they tried to protect the Lehman Brothers, and the government helped to pay the debt by creating money. So when the government create money, what happened? Money supply increase. Since government, they help to pay for the debt, the Lehman Brothers debt. Okay, Lehman Brothers is one of the country, one of the firm. You can read, you can take note on that. Lehman Brothers. So because of that, government creating money and make the money supply increase, and the financials and the economy become worse and worse and worse. Okay, so at this time also, the housing bubble burst. Housing bubble burst. Okay, so when the global financial crisis, this is a global financial crisis, what we call as subprime crisis. It became worse in October 2008. A number of emerging countries, as well as Iceland and former communist countries, they found that foreigners were pulling out their financial system. They take out funds from financial market and they not reinvest the money. They refuse to reinvest the money. So when they refuse to reinvest the money, what happened? The money, the economy are not getting grow and much better. No, this is not happen. So the IMF, so the economy become worse and worse. Housing bubble burst. People that time, they are unaffordable to pay the debt. Okay, so what happened that time? The IMF decreed a new lending program at the end of October 2008 called the Short-Term Liquidity Facilities to overcome the problem, especially for the government. With the facility with 100 billion of fund to distribute loan where needed. But somehow this is a creating money by the government. So because of that, the problem becomes worse and worse and worse. So IMF, they give a hand to help by giving 100 billion fund to distribute loan when needed, which is their cover back the debt and so on. Okay, so this is a subprime crisis. Subprime crisis and the ASEAN crisis, this is a two different thing. Okay, make sure you take a note, you understand. Subprime crisis 2008, ASEAN crisis or currency crisis 1997. But somehow during 2008 subprime crisis, Malaysia also being affected because of we have a trade with the and we use the US dollar in our in our economies, trade and so on. That's why. Okay. International considerations and monetary policy. Okay. Balance of payment considerations. Okay. What does it mean by that? It means that when the value is strong, import more than export. This is normal. Okay. When the value is strong, usually people, they love to import. Okay. So when the value is strong, import more than export. This is under the balance of considerations. Current account deficit in the US. suggests that American business may be losing ability to compete because the dollar is strong. What does it mean by that? It means that during the dollar is strong, import more than export. US deficit mean surplus in other country, large increase in the international reserve holding, and this is where the world inflation happen. The money is not enough, not in the good conditions. Okay, when the dollar is wrong, okay, you remember this. There are two. Number one, okay, you take note. When the dollar is wrong, they lose the ability to compete in international trade. US people will import more from the other country. Number two, US deficit, meaning demand for foreign currency will increase. This time, inflation might be occur and money supply of the US country will increase. Since what? Since people, they will demand to buy foreign product and demand for foreign currency. So that's why money supply increase. Okay. This is also meaning that supply of US currency increase to demand for foreign currency. Okay. You listen back to the recording and take note on that. Okay. Exchange rate considerations or contractionary monetary policy. What does it mean by that? It means that cost of borrowing increase. Okay. Raise the domestic interest rate and strengthen the currency. This is a tight monetary policy. Expansionary is a loose monetary policy will lower interest rate and weaken the currency. This is similar to the last two chapter about the expansionary and contractionary. Okay, this is important. ASEAN financial crisis. Okay, ASEAN financial crisis. Okay, I just give you a brief on ASEAN financial crisis, and I want you to do short notes on ASEAN financial crisis later. The task today, you have to do a summarization on ASEAN financial crisis. Important for the exam. Okay, the ASEAN financial crisis occurred 1990 to 1997. Previously, ASEAN 97, 96, 97. Previously, before the ASEAN crisis, the ASEAN economy was in a good conditions, in the booming areas, and so on. Okay, ASEAN countries achieve a higher economic growth before ASEAN crisis. So, especially the Thailand market, for example, we view as a model for advance in technology, especially for the paddy field in the Thailand market, for the technology advance, economy performance, and so on. But somehow, in July 1997, ASEAN starting to experiencing financial problem, and it leads to ASEAN crisis, resulting in bailout of several countries by IMF. It begin when the George Soros injecting hot money into Thai market. So ASEAN crisis is actually begin in the Thai market. Okay, Thai market. Also attribute to the substantial depreciations of ASEAN countries. And because of we are neighbor to the ASEAN, to the Thai market and so on. So that's why we are being impacted on this crisis. As the investment bubble expands, some market participants questions the ability of the country economy to repay back the rising amount of debt, and Thai baht came under attack. Like I told you just now, which is Thai baht came under attack when the George Soros injecting money into Thai market. So it is a hot bubble. Money supply increase and so on. Okay. So this one is, you can read. Yeah. ASEAN attract almost half of the capital inflow into developing country. Southeast Asia maintain high interest rate attractive to foreign investor. So previously, before the crisis happened, ASEAN countries' economy was so in a good conditions. Okay, they received large cash inflow and experience a run up in asset price. So this is what happened. This is what happened. Okay. So when it begins in Thai market. So you starting from here, I want you to read and do a summarizations on ASEAN financial crisis. I give you a brief. Okay. Thai market, okay. Economy developed into bubble full by hot money, which is George Soros, they injecting money into Thai market. So money supply increases it. And that time, Malaysia and Indonesia were complicated with crony capitalism, which is political issue. This is political issue. Okay, we are facing political issue that time. So access depend on export for the economy. Indonesia, Philippines, and Thailand, the export ratio grew very good. But somehow, okay, huge dependence on trade made this country easily influenced to currency movement. When there is a issue occur, the hot money occur just now, the injecting money occur just now because of the GDP growth from 35 to 55. So the impact is very huge, depends on the trade made this country easily influenced to currency movement. Okay. ASEAN crisis start in Thailand due to financial collapse in Thai baht since, like I told you just now, injecting money by speculator, which is George Soros. After the currency flowed in foreign market and cutting it pegging to the USD. Thai has high level of spending and low level of saving. Since what? Since previously they are very good in economy and so on. The growth is very good. So they unexpected this issue might be occur. So that's why they has high level of spending, but they have low level of saving. So they have not enough capital to recover the debt. Okay. Period of 85-96, economy is very good, but somehow baht was pledging at 25 per USD after 97 during the crisis. Okay, so from what happened in the Thai market, we understand saving is important. Financials is important. How to manage money is important. We cannot rely on the today money that we have. We cannot rely on what we have today, so that in future we are safe. No, we cannot. So we have to save money, spend properly. So this is what we learn from the ASEAN crisis, especially Thailand market. Since they don't have a saving and so on to repay back the debt. Okay. Currency pegging to USD made it attractive site for foreigner investor, but somehow do they invest? No, they not. Since they lose a trust to the Thai market that time. Large inflow of fund provide Thai bank with more fund than bank could use for making loan. So because of that, it attempt to use all the fund the bank made by high risky loan. See? Because of they don't have saving. So the developer that time borrow heavily without need to prove the expansions. Do the developer have an ability to pay back. So this is very risky. And because of they have no ability to repay, so the number of debt increase and increase and increase and increase. Since loan approval based on the previous success, but not for the current situations. Okay. So this is how the problem in the Thai market. Oh, where is it just now? Okay. Okay. Mana tadi? Sorry. Where is it just now? Number. This one done. This one done. This one done. This one. Okay. Okay. So because of the large inflow of fund made Thailand more susceptible to a massive outflow of fund. They don't have the foreigner lose confidence. They know they don't have the ability to repay back the loan and so on. They're having a financial problem. So investors lose trust to the Thailand market. So ASEAN financial crisis Thailand happened during 1997. Thai baht was hit by massive speculative attack by George Soros. They injecting money into Thai market and they call it hot money. So Thai baht pressure by the large scale of baht in exchange for dollar detached to USD 1997. Central bank, they take part. They attempt to maintain the baht value by intervention. They buy back the Thai currency. Since people lose trust, people sell the Thai baht with it. But what Thai central bank did is they buy back. But somehow, when they buy back, it's not enough to recover the debt and to recover the amount of supply of Thai baht in market. They use dollar reserve to purchase back the baht in forex market, but somehow it's not enough. This plan was to offset the sales of baht by foreigner investor, but somehow the market force overwhelmed the intervention effort. So is it the actions work? No, it's not work. Okay, it's not work. Okay. Okay. 24. Okay. So what happened that time? Thai central bank, they used more than 20 billion baht to purchase back the Thai currency in forex market. But somehow, due to decline in Thai value, they need more Thai baht to exchange for the dollar. Somehow, they have no enough capital to recover, to buy back the Thai baht. Okay. So, what happened? IMF unveiled a rescue package because of the time central bank just now, they don't have enough capital to recover, to buy back the Thai baht. So they're getting a help from IMF. So IMF getting a help in rescue package with more than 17 billion to recover, to buy back the Thai baht in market. In return, Thai agreed to reduce its budget deficit. Bad loan. Okay. So this is what happened. Okay. So the crisis in Thailand spread to the other country, especially Malaysia, Indonesia, and so on, since we are neighbor country. So the country also had very high growth in economy, lead to overly optimistic assessment of future. And because of we are neighbor to the Thailand market, do you think the foreigner will trust us. No, they will not trust. That's why they take out the money and invest in other country. They fail and they not trust to ASEAN country anymore. Even though you are not, but because of we are neighbor to the Thai market. So what happened is they withdraw fund. Foreigner, especially investor, they withdraw fund that they invest in Malaysia, for example, take out and invest in other country. They sell ringgit Malaysia. So because of that, we are facing the same impact of Thai market. Same thing to what happened to the Indonesia. So, okay. Okay. Southeast ASEAN. Ringgit Malaysia, Singapore dollar, peso, Taiwan market, Taiwan dollar, rupiah. We also decline because foreigner, they don't trust ASEAN anymore. Malaysia attempt to maintain the ringgit Malaysia value, but then we surrender. And we paging the money that time. Since we cannot, our government cannot cope with the currency supply in market. Malaysia, Indonesia use more than 500 million to purchase rupiah in forex market, but then surrender also. Since what? Since too much. And determined by market force. Too much supply. So we cannot tahan that time. Okay, so prior to July 1997, Indonesia had low inflations and so on. Since no trust, okay, investor not trust to Malaysia and Indonesia at that time, and also ASEAN country. Okay, so RM of attack 1997. We are also attacked by speculator after Thai overnight rate jump and so on. So we are losing money in international, and we are facing similar like what happened to the Thai market, and also it's spreading to Indonesia, Vietnam, and so on. Okay, so case study, I want you to do it. Okay, very important for you. ASEAN actually, economy are developing more slowly, which lower interest rate and inflations. The questions to discuss: effect on ASEAN currency value in relation to the other currencies. I want you to discuss about this. Okay. QR code for today. Okay. You capture first the questions. I share back lah later. Wait. I share back the question later. I give you the QR code first. Yeah. Since Nurse wanna use this room, so I will leave it you with the questions. Silver Lake mobility. They said 1 hour only. I said thank you so much. 1 hour is enough for me. So now I will let my students to do the task. Which is the task is important for your final exam. Activate today na. Mana today punya? Okay, alright. Okay. Jap, I share back the mana sharing. Okay. Okay, this is a QR code for today. You capture the QR code. I hope everyone will do the short notes and also do the questions. Do the short notes on the questions I shared just now. Okay, you get you get to the QR code. So this is the questions. Where is the question just now? Mana question tadi? Mana? Oh, penat. Okay. Effect on the ASEAN currency value in relation to the other currency. Capture first these questions and capture the QR code. Okay, we were gonna stop today here, but somehow, I want not stop yet, since we have questions to discuss, and also you have to to do the short notes on that. So, 1.5 hours is enough for you to finish the task given by me. The only things is I stopped sharing the Microsoft team, but somehow if you know how, where and how to looking for me, how to reach me, okay, I will be online, don't worry. If you're facing problem, just let me know, okay. Just I stop sharing the screens and so on. Okay, I hope um you do these questions, the case study questions, do a short notes, and you take note on all the important issue, important things that I told you just now, yeah, for final exam. Chapter 5 is important for final exam. Yeah? Okay, so today is the due date to submit assignment. Just now got one student, semalam kot, last night, student text me, forgot to reply. Mana nama dia? Oh, ni. Okay. Nicole. Sorry, Nicole. Uh, just email me, Nicole, yeah. The assignment. Nicole is from T3. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for attend the class today. If you're facing problem, you can text me. You can look for me in a text me in a Microsoft team. If let's say you have my phone number, you can text me. So okay. All right. Thank you so much. I really hope that you follow my instructions. Do these short notes. Read. Chapter 5 is important for final exam. Understand the crisis. We have a 3 crisis. Examples of the crisis. Okay. All right. So don't forget to submit your assignment today. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone.